Hi guys, in this episode of Radicay, I'm gonna be reacting to Red Velvet's newest Japanese song, Wildside. And it seems like this one might be a little bit more my taste compared to Feel My Rhythm, which by the way, I still enjoyed quite a lot. It's not a bad song by any means. It's just not necessarily what I was hoping for from Red Velvet, especially because I feel like they've kind of not done a certain type of song in a little bit, kind of like what I think this is going to be like. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this, and I'm hopefully going to like it. But there's only one way to find out, so without further ado, let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I feel like Red Velvet hasn't done something a little bit darker in a bit. Like, I think they're slightly edgier. Their last slightly edgier concept was either like really bad boy, or Simsalabim if you can count it. Yeah, I was kind of hoping that this was gonna be like Bad Boy. Man, I can't even recognize Yeri. She looks so different. Man, that was a really great chorus from Joy. Man, with some of the haircuts that the girls have in this music video, I can barely tell them. I can barely recognize them. Yeah, this is definitely more my taste. Wait, was that Wendy? Man, sometimes I forget that Irene raps in the Red Velvet. Okay, this song is giving me so many things to talk about. We're definitely going to be reacting to it a second time. This is definitely more exciting for me than Feel My Rhythm. And this is a really interesting chorus. And at this point, I've given up honestly trying to recognize the members. And I thought I knew Red Velvet really well because they're one of the first K-pop groups I listened to. I feel like it's intentional that they've made them so unrecognizable with the different haircuts in this video. And this, I really like this chorus. As good as this is, and genuinely might be one of the best songs this year, I don't know if I'm gonna count it for my top songs of 2022 because it is a Japanese track. I might mention it, but I don't know if I'm gonna talk about it. I mean, if I'm gonna put it on that list. Man, they all look so good. Okay, definitely reacting to this one a second time, and hopefully we're not gonna have any copyright issue with this, because if we have, you're probably not gonna see this, or I'm just gonna skip through the song part because I didn't use my headphones for this, which I probably should have. But anyway, pretty interesting song. I still feel like it needs a little bit more, I don't know what to call it, spice, identity to it, because it doesn't feel like it stands out as much as it should have. It definitely has something going for it with that chorus, which is really interesting, and definitely kind of unique. Like, it definitely sticks in your head on the first listen already, but I still feel like the song as a whole doesn't really feel that memorable overall. I feel like it definitely needed a little bit more identity to it. And to be honest, you can barely even hear the fact that it's in Japanese. I couldn't even really catch a single moment in the song where I heard like a Japanese sounding word. So yeah, I think my issue with the song in that regard is a little bit of like the producing side of things, where it kind of feels like it has some of the similar issues that a lot of hypes groups seem to have, but yeah, I don't know. It just felt like that, but overall I definitely like it. I like the direction that they're going for musically. Like, it's a little bit more edgier and more girl crush, and I like that. I like the chorus because it's really good. I like their singing and their rapping in this. I like their outfits. I like the dancing. Like, overall, I like this quite a lot. It's just that I feel like there's definitely something more that could have been achieved with this song. And if you didn't check out my reaction to NCT Dream's Glitch Mode, which I recorded right before this, definitely check it out to kind of get the full gist of what I'm about to say about this song. Because like I said in my video for NCT Dream's Glitch Mode, NCT songs have started to kind of lose a little bit of like their direction and identity. It kind of nowadays feel like those songs don't really feel like they're going anywhere. And I'm getting a little bit of that same feeling with this song. It feels a little bit like it just didn't feel like necessarily as thought out as it should have been. It does feel a little bit thrown together, although definitely not as much as it does for NCT 1-7 song. It definitely feels more coherent than that, but it's leaning towards those side of things. But to be honest, so was Feel My Rhythm in my opinion. It just feels like neither Feel My Rhythm or this feel as iconic and as unique in terms of their sound as Red Flavor, Peekaboo, Bad Boy, hell, even Really Bad Boy, or even if you want to go as far back as Ice Cream Cake, and all those other songs. It just doesn't feel like they stand out as much. But like I said, overall I actually like this quite a lot, and we're going to be listening to it a second time before I say my final thoughts. So let's get into it again in 3, 2, 1. And I really like their haircuts in this music video. Then I feel like this would have been a really sick release if it was in Korean. Yeah, I definitely like this. Yeah, I definitely feel like, on the second listen now, I definitely feel like the style of this song. Like, I can definitely feel more of the direction. Still not quite as like memorable as Peekaboo, for example, but I definitely like this more than the last few songs, especially Feel My Rhythm. It's kind of weird for me to think about the fact that Irene raps. She just does not look like a rapper, but she does. She does rap. Also, in some of those shots that we saw earlier, Wendy looked very much like, I think, Neon from Twice. It was kind of uncanny. Man, this is a really good chorus. And I love that ending shot. That might end up being the thumbnail for this video. You already know what was the thumbnail, but as of now, I still have not decided. But that has a very big likelihood of ending up the thumbnail. But yeah, overall, pretty good release, honestly. I mean, to be honest, film rhythm also, like I said, wasn't like bad or anything. It's just that I feel like at this point, I'm not really that excited for most of the third generation groups. I'm just like, move over, please give me more of the fourth generation at this point. Or maybe at this point, I'm also a little bit kind of getting burnt out on just the whole K-pop thing. Maybe sooner rather than later is gonna come a time where I'm just gonna have to stop listening to K-pop for a little bit, or at least for the newer K-pop, and kind of take a break for like a year or two maybe, before I get back into the game. Because I've been pretty much listening to K-pop for like 6 years straight at this point. 3 of which I've been reacting to K-pop. That's a lot of time, to be honest. And when I say it out loud, it really shows how fucking fast time flies. But yeah, I'm getting a little sidetracked. In terms of a rating for this song, I think I'm going to give it a 9.1 out of 10. It's weird though, it kind of fluctuates for me between 9.1 and 9.4 out of 10. Because in the part where it actually hits really hard, like the chorus, it definitely feels like a 9.4 out of 10. But I feel like after the chorus, it kind of mellows out a little bit too much, to the point where it feels, I don't know, this kind of It makes me feel confused a little bit, because there's this like very loud and very powerful part of the chorus, and then it just kind of goes from like 100 to 0 afterwards in terms of the energy. It continues with like this kind of mellow verse afterwards. It's confusing. It's what's the word for it? What's the word for it when you feel lost and you don't know which direction is towards which direction? I'm struggling to think of that word, but it is essentially what I'm feeling when I'm listening to the post-chorus of this song. But overall, I think I'm probably going to stick with 9.1, because I feel like it could have been a little bit more standout with its instrumental and sound, because it does have a little bit of blandness to it. But I feel like that is a little bit of like a nitpick ultimately, because I still think it's a pretty entertaining song. It kind of definitely reminds me of Psycho in that regard, where I thought, when I listened to Psycho originally, I thought it was a very bland and unmemorable song, but then it ended up being pretty good and pretty cool, and I love that song now, but it is kind of in the same way for me, that song. It definitely feels a little bland, but at the end of the day, I like it. I just don't really know how much I'm actually going to end up listening to it, because as good as it is, I feel like just older songs are just going to appeal to me more, so this one is just not going to end up being listened to for me due to the nature of those older songs being a little bit better, even though this one is still really good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious though, what do you guys think about this song? So comment your thoughts down below and let's have a discussion about it. And also, before we end this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to my currently 3 patrons on Patreon: Omar Bridgman, Deadpool, and Sanchez. Thank you guys for your support. I really appreciate it. It really means a lot to me that you have decided to support me and have continued to support me for such a long time. Hope you continue to enjoy my content and continue to support me going forward. Thank you very much. Another thing that I also want to tell you guys before we end this video is something about me that some of you may or may not know, that will also explain why do I look and dress the way that I do. That being the fact that I am trans. In particular, I am somewhere between a non-binary person and a trans woman. I'm not quite sure at the moment and probably won't be sure until I talk to a professional who deals with trans people, but that is where the reason why I'm telling you all this comes. I need your help. Due to the fact that I live in a homophobic and transphobic Eastern European country with a family that won't really accept the fact that I'm trans if they found out, there is not really a feasible or easy way for me to transition here with minimal repercussions. So that's why I would really appreciate any kind or any amount of support that you guys can give me with this. That said, I don't want to guilt trip you or anything, so if you don't want to or you don't have the means to help out, that's fine, don't feel bad. I just want you to know that it would be greatly appreciated if you did help me out get out of this situation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and thank you for hearing me out. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, subscribe. Also, check out the list in the description to my Twitter if you want to follow me over there, and to my Wattpad where I post my stories, because in addition to doing all these videos on my channel, I'm also a writer. And if you don't enjoy my stories or you simply enjoy my videos, you can head over to my Patreon or to my Ko-fi account where I can pledge your support and help get the channel going, help support me so I can keep writing stories you enjoy. But if you don't want to do it, that's completely fine. You can still help me out in other ways, like liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and especially sharing this video with someone who you think might enjoy it. And I think this is pretty much it for this video, so hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next one. Bye!